The reason why I'm a biology student is because I find the knowledge of like how bodily processes work extremely fascinating, like on a molecular level. I just really like to know how things work. And so with things that I enjoy in my daily life, like coffee and wine and bread and other kinds of like cooking and baking, I really like to understand the chemistry behind it. In terms of coffee, there are parts of the process like all throughout that you can modify to make the coffee taste differently, and that's what's really beautiful about just an espresso shot. So I just really like being able to like toy with each of the variables to take like the same bean in a lot of the cases and just make it taste like 100 different things depending on like the day or the kind of espresso drink I'm going to make or the person that I'm giving it to. Those kinds of things. Lots of people salt their coffee. It's a thing. So when you salt the water, the mineral content of the water that you use in coffee is very important because, for example, if you're putting distilled water over your coffee, there's no like ion interactions in the water. So when the water, which is literally just H2O hydrogen bonded to itself, like that's not going to interact with the coffee and the ions and the oils in the coffee at all, and it's not going to pull out any of that flavor or any of the aromatics. So when you put minerals into the water, which normally just comes from like your tap water, those ions can like associate with and in certain cases bond with like the molecules in the coffee and pull them out, and that's what really makes it taste good, and also is one of the aspects that creates the crema, like the emulsification of all of those molecules together. The surface area of the bean is what is changing when you change the grind. So for an espresso machine, you really want a finer grind so that there's a lot more surface area of the bean for the water to go across, and that extracts more of the flavor. I'm really only doing it for me, and the same can be said for why I make coffee and why I put so much time and effort into it, because at the beginning of every day, like I make myself a coffee, and so if I take the time to really like be mindful about what I'm doing, it's kind of like starting the day with meditation, but less so in a way of just me sitting on a couch in silence, which would probably make me fall asleep. I don't consider myself a terribly creative person, and with latte art, if I do it well, it one looks beautiful and then also tastes beautiful. And I have coffee every single day, so why not make it beautiful?